Right at it. Right at it. Oh, he's done it again. Just as he did at the John Deere for his first win.
Alrighty, welcome to the 11th episode of the Go Get That podcast. This is another tracker interview with social media mastermind himself, Rory McIlroy Tracker on Instagram and also RM Tracker on Twitter. He's a beauty, absolute great guy. I never really got to know him much until recently because I don't know. I'd always been really close with the other Rory Tracker, to be honest, but he's a great guy. He was a great interview. His Wi-Fi was a little shaky, so sorry if that bothers you, but it shouldn't have been. It really wasn't that bad. He cut out a few times towards the end, but really the entire time it was just him having the problems, not really us. I'd say this was a good one. Obviously, talk about a lot of stuff. I know at the beginning we kind of flip-flopped around a lot, but then we sort of had discussions. Your weekly PGA Tour slander is back at it again. That is not missing from this episode. PGA Tour Live. Don't think you're escaping that this week. So
no, you're
it's
not
a good episode.
It.
Next week is Sean Van Anglen. That is a raw interview. There is no filter on that one, so be careful.
Rated R, folks.
Rated R. And yeah, you guys, I'm sure you guys have something to say.
Yeah, I mean, another tracker interview, another country. We went from Brooks from
Australia
to Rory from Canada, so that was fun. And just on the PGA Tour coverage, Rory Tracker has 200,000 plus Instagram followers. And if you think it's just the small people like us saying the coverage is bad, you'll hear it from someone that's a lot bigger than us talking about how bad it is. So it was a fun one. Just cool, I think, to hear from someone that's grown to be as big as he is, to see how he grew. And I know to a lot of our followers, I mean, I know Bob and I get a lot of requests for how to grow your page. This is definitely one you're going to want to listen to because he gives you a lot of good insight.
Yeah.
Yeah, also some interesting nuclear talk at some point in the episode, as well as a couple of really cool Augusta stories.
Yes.
Which was just awesome.
From a not so great year, but we won't talk about that.
You'll hear it when you hear it and you'll know.
You'll know. You probably already know.
I mean, Go Get That pod is going global. Obviously, Go Get That was set across the pond as well. Not that Canada is across the pond, but another tracker interview, another good one.
We got to next interview we got to get someone from Europe. We got to try and go all different continents. Eventually, our last episode, we'll interview someone from Antarctica. That'll be our big finish.
Yeah, I'm sure golf on Antarctica is really popular.
Hey, I'd actually do an interview with literally any random person who plays golf in Antarctica. I think that would be interesting if that's even possible.
It can't be a thing,
ice golf.
Grass just freezes.
But is there even grass?
No. Can't be. I mean, maybe in like the tips, but it can't be. Anyway.
Yeah. It was a great interview. Again, just we're giving you guys some pretty, I mean, not to toot our own horn, but these are pretty good interviews. I mean, these are some pretty these are people that you want to listen to. We're not just giving you interviews with random guys. I mean, these are people who have a purpose, and there's a reason why we're interviewing them, to give them their stories, and also just to give another perspective of another fan base, because Rory has a big fan base. So you're going to enjoy this one. Without further ado, Rory McIlroy Tracker. Alrighty, this is another guest, another tracker, social media mastermind, Rory McIlroy fanatic and tracker himself. How is it going? And welcome to the pod.
Thank you guys for having me on. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. So first off, we'll just get right into it. How's it feel? Rory McIlroy, his last tournament he played, he won. So that's a good. That's nice.
Yeah, I mean, wins are good for both of us. I mean, more for you than or you guys as being all speed trackers or whatever, but more for you guys. And wins don't come that often.
Right.
Even like 2 wins a year doesn't feel like that much because a year is 52 weeks, and it doesn't feel like much. But Rory's year seemed to be so bad and all this, but he won twice. So it's kind of a weird middle point you have to find between not being happy about the season and I guess being okay with it.
Yeah, me and Jordan always talk about how we feel like Rory, every time he can have the worst form coming in, and he'll be in contention once or twice and he'll end up winning the tournament, whereas Jordan's in contention for 10 weeks straight and doesn't win a thing.
Yeah.
But that's just kind of how Rory goes. When he's on, it's tough to beat.
Yeah, basically impossible.
If he's making putts, him and Colin are like the exact same. If they're making putts, you're gonna have a very hard time beating them.
Yeah. So I mean, especially going into the pandemic for him, like all of 2019 and the first 2.5 months of 2020, he was pretty close to unbeatable. I mean, he won 4 times in 2019. He missed, I don't even think he missed a cut in the entire stretch. And then he won the FedEx Cup, and then he won in China, and then he came back. And in 2020, the first 6 starts, his worst finish was 4th. He just didn't win, but a lot of seconds, a lot of thirds, a lot of fourths. And then we all know what happened after COVID. Nothing happened with him for like a year, so that was not great. But he's pretty impossible to beat when he's playing well. I mean, as is Jordan, obviously, but that we're more further removed from that, I guess, than Rory's form of winning, like serially, I guess you could say.
All right. Well,
would you rather? I guess, would you rather have Rory keep racking up top 5s week after week? And I know that he didn't win in that stretch, but he won somewhat recently. Or would you rather have it be like you get a win every 8 months, every 9 months? What's more fun to track?
I mean, to be honest with you, obviously, I think the contention more often than not is more fun just because it's more hyped, it's more engaging, it's like week after week, you just expect to be, like tracking a potential win, which no matter what, win or loss, and criticism comes regardless, but win or loss, you're gaining tons of followers while you're tracking wins or even contention, because everyone wants to know those 3. If there's a big name up there, they want to be knowing what he's doing. So yeah, I would say the top 5 thing, but obviously winning is all that matters in the end of the day. So you could miss 100 cuts a year and win twice, and you have a better year than someone who finished tied for second every single tournament. So that's my mindset, I guess.
Yeah, I'd be right there with you, coming from another tracker. I mean, there's nothing worse than playing like crappy on a Thursday and being out of the tournament after a Thursday. I mean, even if Jordan or Rory, they don't win, but if they're in contention going into Sunday, there's the excitement, the engagement, as you said. Thankfully with Jordan, we were pretty blessed this year. I mean, he was in contention
a lot,
nearly every tournament he played, and I'd rather take that than, I mean, going back to, let's say, 2019 Jordan, where he had a stretch where he played very well at the PGA, and then the rest of the year he played like crap. So yeah, I'll take the continuous contention.
For sure. It's also just from a selfish, like, I guess you can call us fan account standpoints. It's more beneficial to us if they're contending and not winning than winning once or twice a year and playing like garbage the rest,
Yep. For sure.
100%. So yeah, it's also about yourself. You've been tracking on Twitter, I know, for a little bit. I know when I started, you were already kind of up there.
So I mean, it all started with Instagram for me, to be honest with you. I'm supposed to go into Instagram, I would assume, because that's really where.
Yeah, we were going to ask you about that anyways, but yeah, you can go right ahead.
Yeah, so it started in 2016. I was in the 9th grade, and one of my friends, basically, we made a bet, and he said, I bet you I can gain 1,000 followers in a week on a fan account for a player or team of my choice. And I said, okay, I bet you can't, because you're an idiot. And he lost the bet. And then I said, okay, let's double down. I bet you I can do that easily within a week. And he said, I bet you can't. I was like, okay, so give me my free $50 and watch me gain 1,000 followers in a week. So I chose Rory. And then what I did was, it was an interesting way of growing, but I had post notifications on for like PGA Tour, European Tour, Golf Digest, and every time they post something during the day at any point, I'd have it ready on my phone to copy paste, like, go follow at Rory McIlroy Tracker for blah, 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 all that stuff, you know? And by the end of the week, I had like 2,200 followers. So that was an easy.
Whoa.
Yeah, back in 2016, it was really simple times on social media, and it was just so easy to grow, like, through stupid stuff like that, I guess you could say, just like commenting, hey, follow me, and people be like, oh, okay, I'm gonna go follow you.
Yeah, I gotta try that. Are you kidding me? No, I've never heard that. That's actually crazy. I've never.
Yeah, I mean, the best way of describing it is just pure immature stupidity that just, I guess, worked out. That's just what Instagram used to be. And then I guess over the years it really progressed, and you have to adapt with the way Instagram kind of, their algorithm works. And now there's so much going on Instagram. There's posts, there's stories, there's reels, there's IGTV, there's live. So you kind of have to keep up for Instagram to keep in their algorithm. And I don't really know what to say, because a lot of people say, like, holy crap, you have like 240,000 followers. That's a ridiculous amount of people. And I'm just like, is it? Like, it's weird. It just happened kind of fast, and it's so weird. I find I'm posting, like, in my mind, I'm posting to the same 10 main followers that interact every time, and then somehow some posts just go absolutely crazy and get this many followers from me and that many likes. It's just, I find social media is so weird in that way, and it's just funny that we all have a big following, that we can go onto our phones and we have that outreach just at the snap of a finger. We could say anything and people will just take our word for it. It's crazy. It really is. So,
sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but
No, go ahead.
what's it like? We had Brooks Koepka Tracker on, and he talked about what it's like to track from Australia.
Oh,
So
yeah.
you're from Canada. You said golf TV is not the greatest thing in the world, but what's it like, I guess, tracking from Canada?
So, I mean, to be honest with you, like, it's more Americans, but a lot of Americans have this great perception of Canada that we live in igloos and we're just, like, not living in the same kind of world as Americans. But in reality, it's like, when I come travel to the States, it's a very similar lifestyle. Obviously, going to, like, I guess when I go to Florida or even New York or LA, it's just, like, way bigger. It's just so big. Everything's just bigger, but it's the same kind of vibe, and it's the same lifestyle, I guess you could say. But the part that's weird, I guess, is the fact that the TV coverage is a little different, and we have Golf TV versus you guys have PGA Tour Live. Do you want me to get into the Golf TV PGA Tour Live?
Go ahead.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I know you guys have spoken about it a lot, but it's no surprise that every single person on planet Earth who puts, I don't even know how much money it is for you guys because I pay in Canadian dollars, but I think it's like maybe $12.
I think it's 69 or 70 for a year. That's what I do.
Okay, exactly. It's like
But I think it is 12 a month. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that, whatever. It's $12 a month, okay? $12 is 1,200 cents. It is the biggest waste of money. I could do so many better things with that $12 that I pay a month for this subscription than watch Rory 10 minutes after he hits his golf shot. It's just, we don't have to get so into detail because I could make this podcast 7 hours long, but it's just, I don't understand how the tour makes so much money and these players are so big and they just can't figure it out. They just can't figure it. It's crazy to me. I said this, I've spoken to people about this in the past, but if the PGA Tour let me walk in there and just run it for a day, I'm not saying I'm going to do the commissioner's job and all that. If they just let me run their marketing sector and aspect and all that stuff, whether it comes to how they copyright absolutely everything off Instagram and they don't let you grow on that sense. You can't film when you're at tournaments. It's absolutely mental the way they're trying to grow the game through doing the exact opposite of growing the game. And then when they do provide a service to grow the game, the service is, if I could say it as nicely as possible, garbage. Absolute garbage. So yeah, I'm gonna keep giving them my 1,200 cents a month because it's just I have to.
Well, that's kind of a thing we have to do as trackers. I mean, no matter how late it is, you kind of have to be able to give your commentary on the shots. It's tough, and it's tough to do that from Shot Tracker. And
yeah,
if other people are seeing the shots, you kind of have to be seeing them as well. But
exactly,
yeah, it sucks.
It's just, I mean, I think we've spoken about this before in DMs, but we use an alternative shot tracker that is from a third-party website, you could say. that is up to the second to live. Like in real life, if you're
4.5 seconds is what I timed it when I was at the
exactly,
Travelers.
it
It's
is
ridiculous.
And I even when I'm watching him live on TV, when he's playing in, like, let's say the U.S. Open, when he was in contention, and we don't have to talk about that. He had a bad 12th and 13th hole, which completely cost him the tournament. But when that happened, and like tracking in the U.S. Open, obviously a major, hasn't won a major in 7 years, I was not watching. It was on TV, but I was sitting on my computer and my phone so I could type and tracking, because even the major, like golf coverage in general is just bad. It's just really bad. I could keep going on. I'm going to keep going in circles, but it's just not good. Nothing is good about it. Nothing.
Yeah, I mean, you're spot on. I mean, JT I think it was yesterday, he even alluded to how bad the coverage is. He was talking about the Q School finals and how, like, watching those guys get their tour cards is like such a great thing that could be on TV, but it's not. So he was on Twitter complaining about the lack of coverage there. I mean, we go on about PGA Tour Live all the time, but it's not just PGA Tour Live where the coverage is bad.
Right. No, 100%. It's just like, it's also crazy because, for example, we'll take the NHL or the NFL, the NBA, the MLB, whatever. Even their minor league teams and their minor league of the minor league teams get coverage of some sort, not necessarily on TV, but coverage to the point where you could follow what's going on. With the PGA Tour, we get minimal coverage for the actual PGA Tour or extremely delayed coverage. And on top of it, like, these web.com tour players, who are, by the way, the gap between the PGA Tour and the web.com tour it's closed so much. Like, these web.com tour players now it's called Corn Ferry, I'm sorry. They come onto the tour and they're so good. You actually just can't get coverage for them. You can't. Their whole marketing and televising demographic is so bad. And, sorry, I'm coughing because of how bad the coverage is, but they need to fix their stuff. They really need to get it together. It's so bad. It's so bad.
Yeah, I mean, just going back to the third-party tracker that we all use, if I hear just a moment ago when I'm watching golf, I mean, I hear that so many times because it's never live. We know the result 45 seconds before they actually show it on TV. It's so bad.
Yeah, even when Rory won, and sorry, my voice is going a little crazy. I'm choking, but when Rory won the CJ Cup, the whole time I run my Twitter, I own it, but I have someone else run it a lot of the time just because I'm extremely busy with school and other stuff, and school, social, golf, and anything. So someone helps me with Twitter, but when he's in contention, I do like to track just because I feel like I could give the best product, I guess you could say.
Well, yeah, obviously. Yeah.
For the win, I was watching it on TV, on live television, and I tweeted that he won the tournament when he tapped in for par on 18 to win. Like full, it might have been like 40 or 45 seconds before TV showed that he won the golf tournament.
It goes.
And look, I understand that TV does have delays. Like, for example, you're watching a football game, it's like 25, 30 seconds behind just because that's how it works. And that's not really the problem I'm trying to say, because we use that tracker just so we could be the first one to tweet the shot. But the huge problem is just the coverage. I just want to watch Rory play golf. And I don't want to watch him hit a 7-iron into the 7th hole at Quail Hollow 10 minutes after he hit the 7-iron to the 7th hole at Quail Hollow. You know, it's so, I just don't get it. I don't know how they could charge. They shouldn't be charging us, at least, if this is their product, you know?
No, yeah, we've talked about this ourselves. We had Brooks Koepka Tracker on, obviously, and now you. I mean, we're basically all hitting the same points here. I mean, every single person that we talk to, not just here, but on Twitter in general, comments and stuff. I mean, everyone has the same opinion. Not a single person likes this product, which is why I don't understand how they haven't picked up on it, given the amount of money they have, given the amount of power they have to make a positive change. It's crazy. And I guess this is repetitive at this point, but I mean, it goes without showing things need to get a little better.
A little is an understatement. How many episodes are you guys into this podcast?
This will be, so we're recording this would be the 11th. Yeah, the 11th.
So how many times out of those 11 episodes, how many episodes do you think PGA Tour Live's abysmal coverage has been mentioned? Do you think it's over 5.5?
Probably about half of them.
I would say the only 2 episodes I can guarantee that we didn't talk about it was the Ryder Cup episodes.
Yeah.
But everything else, it's probably found a way. It stuck its way in. But it's definitely over 5.5.
The funny thing is the Ryder Cup coverage wasn't even that great either.
It
No,
wasn't, but
it's still better than what we get week after week on tour. But
Yeah, for sure.
also, I feel like this will resonate with you guys just being trackers also. The worst feeling is your guys on PGA Tour Live on a Thursday, or firstly, the worst feeling ever is you're like the person you're tracking playing their way out of a tournament on a Thursday. It's just the worst.
that is the worst.
It's just like, ugh, what am I doing? But the worst is when PGA Tour Live is sucking and your guys playing like okay, but like a birdie or two going towards like the last 5 holes could really change his round and put him into contention.
Yeah.
But like also it could go badly with like a bogey and you're just like, oh, this tournament's done.
I think
And
it's
You're tracking and PGA Tour Live sucks, so you have to use the shot tracker and you're using it. And then you see he hit a terrible shot. So you're already in a bad mood because you're not getting coverage. And then they show the shot 5 minutes later and they're like, oh, Rory or Jordan just did this, hit into the wall. And you just want to like punch the screen because you're like, I'm spending money to track a player who's playing like crap right now. And it's frustrating to be a part of. And then on top of it, what I'm paying money for is just not, it's just not like they should be paying me to do this. Like it's so infuriating, I find, to be watching PGA Tour Live, especially when your player's not playing well, because that's just like, it throws everything so much. It just makes me so angry.
our product overall, like just like the tracker product in general, is better than the one the PGA Tour provides in a sense. I mean, if
We
you're
do it for
looking for
free.
if you're looking for a specific player, we do it for free. We're faster than the PGA Tour shot tracker. We're faster than the coverage. We give commentary better than the announcers. I can guarantee you that.
Yeah.
And it's just this is what Brooks said last episode that was a really good point, is that we know more about our players because we watch more shots than the announcers do for just that specific player.
Correct.
So
Absolutely.
that makes our opinion just right there very credible in the middle of a round.
Right.
And I just think, I mean, it goes without showing that tracking is a very useful thing for people who are trying to follow rounds, because the PGA Tour is simply not.
And you also
Doing
don't
what
need
it
to be
is
a
to.
diehard to follow a tracker on Twitter. You just want to know.
Oh. Not
Like,
at all.
I don't care who you are. If you like golf and you enjoy watching golf, even if you don't necessarily turn on the first 2 rounds of the average tour tournament, but you'll watch on the weekend, you know? Like everyone wants to know what Rory or what Jordan or what Dustin Johnson. I wouldn't even say Dustin Johnson just because I guess you could use the word his clout level's not as high as Rory and Jordan. But there's those couple guys that you just want to know. If they're shooting 80 or they're shooting 66, you just want to know what they're doing, you know?
100%. And I think what you did say, which is the most frustrating thing for me, is when he's playing bad, that's when I really want to see what's the shots. That's when I want to see the shots, because I want to know what's going wrong. Because that's where people are looking to me most when I'm tracking, is they're asking me what's wrong with this game. What's the problem? Why is he shooting 74? Is he driving it bad? Is he putting it bad? I can't tell that based on shot tracker. I can't tell how many bad bounces he got based on shot tracker. I can't tell how many lip outs he had on shot tracker. That's the most frustrating thing for me. And it's just, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's terrible. And also, like, even when that's happening, for example, like I find myself getting extremely agitated with certain followers. I'm not no one specific, just people who make
all the time
comments during whatever it is. So on Instagram, I've done a really good job over the last like year or two, because up until like in 2019, I had 50,000 followers, early 2019, probably around February or March. Now I'm at like 240, but over like this whole course of 2 years, I've really, really, really tried to make it not family friendly necessarily, but just not reply to followers telling them that they're complete idiots. You could just say it. We don't have to get into.
Well, I think from my experience, I mean, I think we all have that. I think we all have those guys. But at the same time, I also kind of know that a lot of mid-round comments are very emotion-based, because even mine are. But like at the same time, we have a following that kind of prevents us from going overboard when we make those emotion, almost pressed comments.
Yeah.
Because like, but a lot of the followers, like if Jordan's shooting 78 and followers are saying that Jordan Spieth will never win again, like I completely understand why they're saying that. Like they're just frustrated, and you kind of have to learn to kind of tone that out and just not take it for anything. Because you're right. If you start replying to people, which some trackers do, I'll go after some of them sometimes if they're being like annoying to other followers. Like I don't want other followers to be, but if they're just commenting, you just gotta let it go. I mean,
No, for sure.
That's what followers is. I've never blocked anyone on Twitter. I always think that it's
Really?
pretty. I've never blocked anyone on Twitter. I know that that's not very common practice, and I know that there are definitely people that are worth blocking. But I think that I'm providing a service that I really don't have. I mute people all the time, but I don't really have a right to. I feel like, yeah,
You have a few followers, Bob. They're definitely blockable.
definitely. I love my comment section. Don't get me wrong, but I definitely have a few that if I did block people, I'd probably have blocked.
I have a couple too. I have someone on Instagram that'll literally only comment when Jordan plays bad.
Oh, that's the worst.
Like he sucks. Like never when he shoots 64. Oh, nothing. But when he shoots 78, he sucks. He's awful. Those are the worst.
Right. Oh yeah, that you're gonna be shocked. I've actually never blocked anyone on Twitter, but that's just simply because I don't use Twitter nearly as much as I use Instagram. Instagram is where everything is for me. Like it's 235,000 followers versus 9,900. It's not about necessarily the follower count. I just find Instagram more enjoyable because it's less words and more like seeing what you're you can
I'm
see
the same way. Yeah, I'm only on Instagram. I definitely could relate with that.
Yeah,
I'm going to look. I'm trying to find where I could see blocked. Here we go. Blocked accounts on Instagram. Let's see how long this list is. I'm going to turn my camera towards you guys and I'll let you.
yeah, so we can see. Yeah, really. Wow.
So how many? I would say that's close to. That's at least 100.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just got to get people out of your business. It's bad for the image to have certain people commenting all the time the same shit. Oh, excuse me.
Oh, that's all right. We have plenty. I delete comments on Instagram all the time. Like when people are just.
You kind of have to.
You kind of have to.
The best way to respond is just at this point not responding or deleting because it ends up not looking.
Don't give them the attention.
Exactly.
Yeah. So we've talked a lot about the coverage. We'll give it a rest for the time being.
We'll stray away.
How do we just spend on that?
A good amount, but it deserves the amount of time.
It does every
spend
episode
on the product.
Yeah.
See, it's too easy to get your mind. Let your mind just trail into the negative and just go straight into what frustrates you at every single day of every single year in the golf world, and not the good stuff. So
yeah, for sure. So Rory, you're a Rory tracker. Rory's going to play in the Hero, correct?
Yeah.
Besides that, does he have any other events this year?
Yes, next week
in Dubai, and actually the European Tour announced today that they have a new title sponsor for their tour. It's not just.
I did see that.
Yeah, so they're now called the DP World Tour instead of the European Tour, which I understand why. It's actually pretty cool, but that's the company, I guess you could say, or the corporation or that sponsors this event next week. And I have to say, same week every single year, third weekend of November, awesome event, sick course, so fun to track because it's on late, right? Because it's in Dubai, so there's a huge time difference, and I'm in the Eastern time zone, so it's just fun to get home, even like. When you're out, you get home at 3 a.m. and you just turn on the golf and Rory's just in your face. It's just like, yeah, that's pretty cool.
I think as Spieth fans, we're definitely very jealous of that because Jordan, besides the Open, like never plays abroad anymore.
Well, Jordan had the beef.
COVID.
Yeah, Jordan had the beef with the Euro Tour. I don't know if you remember. So back in 2016, Jordan was the number one golfer in the world, and this was. At the start of January 2016, they decided to put in a new slow play policy. I don't know. It was something to speed up the game. And so their first big tournament back was whatever that Abu Dhabi tournament was in like February, January. I don't know which one that is, but you know what I'm talking about. Rory usually plays it, I think.
I think I remember Jordan playing in that.
Yeah. And so he played in the first round. He played with two other guys. It wasn't even his fault. And he got penalized 2 shots. With no warning for slow play, and he really disliked that because it wasn't in the end his fault, and it was almost like they were using him as an example because he was the number one golfer in the world. That's how it was.
They wanted to make an example that no one's invincible from this.
Exactly, and so Jordan didn't like that, and since then he has not played on the European Tour besides the Open.
He hasn't. So he's been only PGA Tour this entire time.
He's played a few Sunshine and Australian. He's played the Australian Open.
He won the Australian Open in like.
He's won it twice.
Yeah, he's won it twice.
Yeah,
but other than that,
I didn't realize that.
He's not been playing.
He'll play the Scottish
he'll
this
play the
upcoming year,
Scottish,
which will
yeah,
be
he'll play the
fun. But
Scottish.
it's still a PGA Tour event now. It's like co-sanctioned. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Also,
Mick-
guys, I find it fun. I like how, I mean, even Morikawa is very much on both tours.
Yeah.
JP goes quite, not as often as Rory and Colin, but he goes to
Pat Reed does.
yeah, Patrick Reed does a lot.
Mhm.
But I don't know. I like it a lot. I love like the cool early January when Rory's in Dubai and Abu Dhabi, and it's just like I don't know. There's something fun about watching golf at 5 a.m. or just staying up and watching golf, even if you're waking up for it because it's a Thursday, or you just got home from going out or whatever on a Saturday, and you're just turning the golf on and Rory's in contention. I find those events a lot of fun.
Right. And they're way better events than Torrey Pines, like the
Yeah.
Farmers.
I
know CBS likes to bring out this whole thing about how Torrey Pines is so awesome because Tiger loves it there and he plays well there and there's all these moments. But like, I'd rather watch the Euro Tour that week because those courses are a lot more interesting.
Yeah, those courses are actually sick. Also, the European Tour puts on such good events. Their product for what it is amazing. Like they do a better job at making their product, in my opinion, than the PGA Tour does. The course,
easily.
just everything is really awesome on the European Tour. You know, that's just my perception of it. But I don't know. There's just some events there that it's courses that you just want to watch. Like as great as Torrey Pines is, as you said, I don't necessarily need to turn on Torrey Pines onto my TV. This might be controversial, but it's just not that cool of a golf course in my opinion.
It's a dump, is what you're trying to say.
Us three right here are some of the biggest Torrey Pines haters you will find.
Yeah, no, I just think it's sure.
We're a little biased because Jordan plays poorly there, but I mean, it's
it's.
I
all
think Torrey
special
Pines
about it.
is, besides TPC Southwind, the worst course on tour.
TPC. Okay, let's not even talk about going from Firestone to TPC Southwind because that is just the craziest thing ever.
It's all about money.
It's all
How is that making money?
I don't know.
It's
They're doing
It's
it for the
TPC
kids.
venue, so they get the free advertising for it.
Yeah. All right, but yeah. So let's yeah, we've been really bashing the PGA Tour this episode.
Good
I'm
old
gonna
Barry.
wake up tomorrow morning and my account's gonna be gone.
No, they won't hesitate. Okay, I'll tell one more story that's ridiculous PGA Tour before we get into more about you. One time, so remember the viral video going around of Jordan, of the kid who recited the speech to Jordan at the Players?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so the original guy who posted that tagged me in the original post and said I could use it wherever. I posted it on Instagram. The PGA Tour claimed it as their own property and took it down from me, and I had to put in a claim. And by the time I got it back, it was 2 days later. The hype was already gone. That post would have gone nuts because it was before the PGA Tour posted on on Instagram. I was like, "Are you kidding me?" They're so hypocritical because that's not even their video. That's not their video.
You can't steal their content, but they can steal yours. Is
Exactly.
the whole lesson here. For the if you go to my account on Instagram, I posted a reel today of just this video of Rory just demolishing a driver at Quail Hollow this year. It's a great video. One of my followers sent it to me. One thing I'm very lucky that I will say I'm grateful for that I always mention because they're awesome. So many of my followers are just so good at sending videos and just helping me keep the page going and just getting every day I get random followers sending me new videos to potentially post, right? This video is one of the better ones. It's gone completely off on Instagram several times. And I posted it. I was the first one to post it. He only sent it to me. The PGA Tour just, I guess, screen recorded it or copied my post, posted it, claimed it as their own and put their PGA Tour logo on it. And then again, they took mine down. So I was just like, I don't have the energy to go deal with all the politics on Instagram. It's just so stupid.
Because you can't win.
But to be honest with you, I don't really care. I kind of said I'll never post any of their actual content. If it comes from a PGA Tour camera or from a televised shot, that's not going to be posted because it's illegal. But like, if you go look again, it's a video face on of Rory just demolishing a driver. I posted today.
Fan videos are allowed. Like they shouldn't be taking those down.
Correct, because
those are allowed.
Yes, I agree. It's so twisted. It's
the opposite of growing the game.
It's corrupt politics within the PGA Tour that just I don't. I'm gonna stop roasting them. My account's gonna get deleted. I'm gonna stop.
All right. Perfect.
I kind of want to go. Sorry, Bob. I kind of want to go to talk about the Masters because I see you've got a flag in your background.
I do.
And obviously,
No,
the
yeah, I was
Masters
gonna
is-
ask about that because I know I listened to some of the stories you had about that. So yeah, let's hear them.
Yeah. So 2016 Masters, I went with one of my buddies' fathers brought me for. It was a big time gift. He promised for a long time, and he made it happen as he always does. And so we went to the Masters. Oh, it was early April 2016. Rory had just made like a little. It was really tough conditions that week. It was chilly and windy at Augusta. I remember.
You remember?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh God. Oh.
Now you know.
Now you know.
You guys know it all too well. Yeah. Let's just say the conditions were rough, and the fairway leading up to Rays Creek on the 12th, we could just say it was really wet. That's why he did what he did. But yeah, it was. It's just it's hard to put into. Have any of you been to Augusta or no?
Never.
No.
Jordan could have.
I could have. Long story short, but
It'll happen one day, obviously. But
Yeah.
the way it's so hard to put into words what you feel like when you're there. It feels like you actually died and went to heaven, because that's just when you walk into Augusta National, it's just like, so wait, that's real grass. That's a real building. There's nothing. Everything is just perfect, like everywhere. The bathrooms are perfect. It's the craziest place. Anyways, so I was 15 at the time. Rory, one shot behind Jordan going into moving day. Chilly conditions, windy. You're wearing a pullover or a jacket and pants, whatever. And it was a nice day. It was really sunny. But so Rory gets to the practice facility. He's practicing his putting, and I was way younger and smaller. So I kind of crept my way through, and I poked my head through, and he kind of waved at me on like the practice putting green. I was like, oh, that's really awesome. I've been a huge fan since 2010 or 2009. So that was really cool. I've met him before that, but this is at the Masters. So it's obviously somehow just feels like a bigger deal to get acknowledged by him or meet him, whatever. Then on the first tee, I was standing right behind his caddy, which was JP at the time. Now he's with Harry. And I said something to him. You could feel in the air that Jordan and Rory were in the final group at the Masters, because I've never seen a crowd of so many people. Like, obviously you watch a football game or hockey game, everyone's crowded into the stands, but the crowds there were just, it felt like everyone was on some sort of, like a drug. Everyone was like ready to just run from ball to ball, and crowds moving of thousands of people at once. It was nuts. It was nuts. And somehow I got first row for the first tee, and I said something to Rory, and the cameras were about to start. Like you felt like it was part of a movie. It didn't feel real. And I said something like come on, Rory, go low today. And he said, thanks, buddy, and like gave me a fist pump. So I was like, okay, that's just the coolest thing ever. After the second hole, he taps in for par, and on the right of the second hole, like where the Sunday pin is, they walk off that way. The path is that way, and there were so many people. There's a picture of what it looked like when Rory was tapping in for par. So it was the same thing 10 seconds later when this happened. Walks down to the walkway. I was first row of the walkway. I stick my hand out for props, just like God knows how many other people in that walkway did, and he just put his ball in my hand, and I remember just being like, what? It was that moment was not real. It felt so confusing that happened, and then everyone crowds around you to just touch the ball, and it was nuts. So that was like that's my craziest Rory moment.
What did he make? This was in the middle of a round, right?
Yeah, this is
so what did he make the whole
the second hole? He parred the second hole after hitting a garbage drive, laid up to the middle fairway, hit a wedge to 8 feet.
All right, well, I got a story for you then. So this is my peak Spieth moment, I'd say, as well. As an in-person fan, this is the 20.
Hold on, sorry, I think I need you to repeat that. That skipped out a lot on me.
Oh, so 2016 or 2017 Dell Technologies Championship at TPC Boston. Jordan Spieth he was like 9 under through a few rounds. Like he was close to the lead. Obviously shot like 3 over that day. But so 12th hole, that really hard par 4, that's a par 5 for the members. I'm sure you know that hole. It's up and then down and all around. So he hits his second shot short and right, like 30, 40 yards short in the fescue. And so I get really close. I'm like probably 3 feet from his bag. That's the closest probably I've ever been. But I've been following him all around. So he's probably recognized me at this point. I'm 11 at the time or so.
You've seen him in person 11 times?
No, I was 11 at the time.
Oh, at the time. Oh,
yeah.
God.
So there he is at, I think, so he was hitting 3 from 30 yards short. First one, duffs the crap out of it. I mean, it goes like 5 feet. Next one, he duffs it again. And then he stubs. He's like stubs, like from just off the green, stubs it like 3 feet, trickles on, and he makes like a 12-footer to save double. And so I got that ball. I got the double bogey ball, walking from 12 to 13. So I take the ball, but it's always a funny story that I kind of got the bad luck ball. Whereas you got a middle of the round Masters ball. That's even better.
Yeah. One thing I will say about Augusta that's kind of crazy is I got the ball, and obviously there's scuff marks on a golf ball after you use it, right? Even if you're using a ball for one hole, it's going to get a little scuff. I picked up the ball and I started looking at it, and there was like weird stains of green on it. Not like heavy. You could tell the ball was white, obviously, but there were like odd stains of green, which is where I get my hypothesis that Augusta paints their fairways.
Really?
Yes. 100,000%. And I know that because you're going to think I'm crazy, but I took when I was there, I remember I took some grass out of the ground and I put it into an empty water bottle that had just a bit of water at the bottom of it. And over the course of the day, the water dyed green. And the actual strands of grass in there became more yellow.
Heard it here first. Augusta paints its fairways.
I mean, honestly,
they
no,
can't
I'm
be
not
that
that
green. Come on, it
surprised.
just can't be. They can't be.
They do look perfect. Yeah, it's crazy. So here's the ball. I know you guys can't see it or are listening, but here's the ball. You can still see the little faded JS that he writes on the side of it. For everyone.
What is okay? I was gonna ask what ball he plays.
Yeah. I remember when he gave it to me, it was a little less faded. It's sort of faded over the years. The S is still pretty there, but he writes, pretty small, just a J and an S. So that's what I got. But yeah, I mean, the Masters. I mean, that's my dream. Obviously, I've never been to a major. I'm hopefully going to go this year at Brookline because it's right in my back door. Yeah, I mean, the Masters is that's doesn't get better than that.
I just want Rory to win it so badly. And I was going to say,
because
my Wi-Fi was lagging a little bit, which is why it might have sounded laggy. So I apologize for that.
No, you sound pretty good most of the time. Right?
Where did you say that happened? Where you got his ball? I missed that.
Dell Technologies Championship at TPC Boston.
Oh, okay.
So it was the second playoff event at that time, back when there were 4 playoff events.
And you said this was 2016? It
was 2016 or 2017, one of those years.
I missed it a little bit. It was a little laggy on my part.
Yeah, all good. Yeah. But so, all right, I want to go back to Instagram. What have the relationships been? Because I mean, what are some of the coolest people that follow you? Because I mean, I get this a lot where I'm looking at people who follow, where I'm looking at like famous people. I look at their following, and the two that always come up, like just like big golf names, are always following Tiger Woods Spot or you. Like those are the trackers that are followed by big people. So what are some of the coolest people that follow you?
So I'm going to be honest. I used to check on it a lot, but over like the last couple of years, I'd say like a year or two, I've really lost count and really lost track of those really cool followers that I have. I do have a lot of like people that have the tick. They're not necessarily all famous in the Western world of the USA and Canada, but there's someone with like 6 million followers who follows me. There's someone with like 12, but they're not in our world of fame, I guess you could say.
Right.
So again, I don't know who might have followed me over the last 2 years, but people I value a lot. Like there's a lot of friends that I've made through the page that are cool. I mean, Rory's caddy Harry follows me.
That's cool.
In 2019. Really, really nice guy. Always.
Yeah, Yeah, I have a few of Jordan's friends who follow me. Those are pretty cool follows.
Yeah.
You know, some of the Dallas, Texas media people who are close to Jordan. I think those are pretty cool follows to have,
Yeah.
even though I have bigger follows than that. But you know, we both have a pretty decent professional soccer player who follow us. That's pretty cool because
Which one?
He's
Just out of curiosity.
Keegan Rosenberry.
Okay.
Yeah, we interviewed him earlier episode. Yeah, he was our first interview a few episodes like a month ago. But,
Oh, no way.
yeah. So he came on. He was pretty sick. He was awesome. You guys should definitely listen to that one if you haven't.
Go to that
Just
one.
just to hear about, you know, what it's like, the mindset of a professional athlete, because that's always something I want to know more about. But let's see what else. I had a few other questions. What is your biggest post? Like, what's the biggest post that you've had?
The biggest post that I've ever, like the one that went craziest?
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
So the last week, the entire week, from let's say 2 Fridays ago, so I think that's October 29th of this year, until I guess kind of 3 days ago. On October 29th, I posted this video or this string of videos of Rory just hitting driver. Okay. Just a couple slow motion videos, and it went off. I'll read you the numbers very quickly. I'll go through it fast to give you an explanation of what happened over this week, because this has never happened before. I've gained steady followers, and I've had steady growth like throughout these last couple of years, and I've never really worried about not growing. But I don't know what happened in the last week or two, but I've gained 15,000 followers in the last like 10 days.
Oh, you're probably gonna pass Spot soon.
Yeah, no, I should pass him pretty soon
because he's been limited. Like, he can't gain anymore. Yeah, which kind of sucks. But
yeah, so like for example, that first post reached 838,000 people, and then the next day I posted a reel. It's just an face-on, extremely up close, really high quality of Rory just hitting driver. I put a cool sound with it and posted it as a reel. And that reel got 41,000 likes and over 1.3 million views. So that was like nuts. And that just gave me more followers. Yeah. And then the day after that, I was like, I might as well ride the ship and just post more slow motion Rory stuff from face on angles, because people are liking that. Posted another one of him hitting a wedge face on, and then you swipe and it's a driver, whatever. And that one is my most viewed post ever. I've gotten like 30,000 likes on actual post, 35,000, but this is my most, like, this reached 1.35 million accounts. So back to back reaching over a million, or over 1.3 million. And I just kept riding the wave throughout the week. And I ended up gaining, like, I was at 219K, or I was at 216K when he won 3 weeks ago. So just over this little time, it's just been crazy. When he wins, it goes nuts. When I get to post a picture of him and his wife, it goes nuts. When I get to post a picture that Poppy's his daughter. Yeah.
I know and I'm sure you even more. We kind of figure out like what posts do well. Like, I know anytime I can get a post that pushes the Spieth good guy narrative, like, those always do well. Like, I remember back when I had like 300, 400 followers, I posted a picture of Jordan writing a letter to his headmaster saying thank you before he was famous, and that got like 800 likes back when I only had 300 followers, and I was like,
right, yeah,
you know. But like, so those always do well, obviously, and obviously trophy picks never hurt. But yeah,
you need to know how to grow, and
exactly.
And that's something that I've prioritized a lot, and I'm not going to name other accounts, but something that I've tried to help other accounts with that don't always take my advice, but they, again, I don't mean to sound cocky, but they should, because I've done this for 5 years and I've never not grown exponentially, is right. You need to find what works. And I'm not saying recycle your posts, but I'm saying find those really special ones that go off and use them once every like 60 days or every 50 days, because no matter what, those are going to gain you followers, and people still want to see that. They'll forget that happened 60 days ago. They're going to want to see that again. It's just, it's good content, and that's what people want. Right.
Yeah.
So you got to find what works and you need to run with it. So like, if you look through my account, it's pretty consistent with just swipe posts of Rory just swinging like 3, 4, 5 videos. And I guess I've run with it. Recently, I've tried to delve into the Reels world, which is it's also pretty cool, because Reels,
I need to start doing that, because those share better too, because you can actually watch it on stories, and then you want to click it to finish. And yeah, those are good ones.
those have more viral potential. I saw this account that had like 10.1K followers, and they had a reel that had, I think it was 11.5 million views and like 2.2 million likes. So that's just nuts, you know?
It is nuts. Just because I want to mention, I'm sure you've had this too, like followers that have asked, like, I want to start a tracking account. Like, what tips can you give me? I think you just gave quite a few good ones away to people that might want to start a tracking account.
Oh, for sure. And I also, things have gotten hot. Like we could say, I mean, we all know this happens because, I mean, your Speed Tracker, your Speed Legion, you're both pretty huge. Clearly, things are very civil, but things aren't always so civil on Twitter or Instagram. There's, 100%. I guess, rivalry or beef, or not necessarily beef, but more just rivalry, and people get annoyed with each other. And all that.
I mean, there's a lot of times on Twitter, there's like, you don't look at it as a personality behind the account, and you're just like, all right, I want to be better than this guy, and I want to be better than this guy. But in the end of the day, I know me and Jordan have always thought about it this way. We're not the biggest speed tracker on Twitter or Instagram. Well, we're the biggest on Instagram, but we're not the biggest speed tracker that there is. There's obviously one bigger.
Wait, who's bigger?
The actual original speed tracker.
Like, hold on. Sorry, I don't mean to pause this, but is Speed Tracker with 20.5K followers not you, Jordan?
No, that's not me. I'm only on Instagram.
Oh, okay. So that's where I went wrong. Got it.
Yeah.
Understood.
Yeah.
That guy's pretty big.
Yeah. But so that guy's big, but at the same time, we do things very differently. And we've realized that what we've built is what our people want to see. So we don't look at it as competitive because we don't need to be better. Like, I don't need to have more followers than that guy.
Right.
Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, followers are great, but like, I'm content with the community I have. I want to grow, but I want to grow in the right way.
You especially have a great, like, out of all the Twitter communities that I follow, and I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not going to name who, but I have a lot of them muted.
Yeah.
But
you have to. Yeah.
Yours is it's a really good one. It's very close knit, I guess you could say, really loyal. You have some really good followers. So forget your follower count versus this guy or that guy. You have some really good followers, and that matters more than, I guess there's always a balance of quality versus quantity, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I always say. I mean, I'd much rather have the community I have right now with the interaction I have, because I will say this right now. This is not a cocky thing. This is a fact. That guy has more followers. I have much better interaction during rounds. I'd much rather that.
Yeah.
Than the numbers to prove it. I have more fun. There's nothing better than when he's in contention and having 20 plus always on the notifications. People always interacting. Like that's the best. That's the best it gets for me.
Nonstop.
Well, you're consistent, and he's not. So
I guess you could say, I mean, look, I have zero problem with the other Rory tracker, the guy who's with NUCLR, I think.
Yeah. No, yeah, I like him too. Yeah. I don't have
way more consistent than me on Twitter.
Yeah.
Way more consistent than me. I just, honestly, my niche is on Instagram. Twitter, I use, like, I don't tweet much during the week. I just tweet it out. But he's better at Twitter than me.
Yeah.
Also because I don't do Twitter, but he's better at it. But again, like the big thing for me, like, it started off when I started this account, there was another Rory account, or there were two. There was Rory McIlroy Legion, and there was Rory McIlroy, or just Rory.
Where did that guy go? I remember him. Where did he go?
So I'll tell you I'll give you a quick story now. So back when I started my account, immediately when I got a few followers, Rory Legion blocked me, just right away blocked out of the gate. Didn't want to hear from me. So I was always like, why is that guy just so salty? Like, I'm not really trying to compete with him. And then obviously me being me, I was like, you know what? I'm going to compete with him. I'm going to gain more followers than him. Then there was this other guy, Rory Fans. Rory Fans was this guy named John from Texas. He's, I think, 2 years older than me. Nicest guy. And we became really good buddies throughout the account. He started with like 14,000 more than me. He was big at the time. And by 20,000, I hit 20,000 before him. And then when I hit 20 is when he decided to quit. And since then, we've remained like really good friends. We talk all the time. We talk about Roy all the time. He gives me tips for the account, like really good guy, but it was always a somewhat competitive thing. And then there was a point where it was just me running the Rory Instagram world for the longest time. And then in 2019, so this random kid, it was the funniest thing ever. I get this random DM, and so many DMs a day, and I just usually delete them all because if they're not, there's a lot that I delete, a lot that I keep. But so I get a DM from this account called Rory's, or it was his name. I'm not going to drop his name, but his name is Tom. I'll just give his first name. And he DM'd me saying like, hey, like any tips on how to grow? And I was like, we know each other. He's like, what do you mean? So this kid is someone I played junior golf with for like 5 years. He didn't know I was me. And I was like, instead of taking the approach of like, I'm not helping you because you're trying to compete with me, I was like, why don't you find a niche within, because at that point I probably had 100,000 followers, and I'm sorry, you're just not catching me if I'm 100,000 ahead of you. So I said, why don't you find a niche within the Rory community? Because you love Rory, I love Rory. Let's work together and let's grow together. So he became Rory's best moments.
Yep.
So he posts highlights and all that stuff, and we repost each other's stuff, and we're always shouting each other out. We talk all the time. Like, he's become one of my actual friends because of this. There's just ways of going about it. Then there's the people who DM me, you're like, shout me out. Like, I want to become a Rory tracker too. I'm like, great, awesome. I'm just not going to shout you out because why the hell would I? There's just
you have to earn that sort of respect at that point. Yeah,
exactly. You have to earn respect for anything. That's why I'll say Rory Legion versus Rory fans. Rory Legion still has me blocked on Twitter. I don't know if he even tweets anymore because
I don't think he does. I used to follow him. I have not seen a thing in my feed of his in over a year.
I'm pretty sure he found out. Go ahead.
Let me look at this. No, I'm pulling it up. You can go.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he found out who I was somehow, and he blocked my personal and Rory tracker on Twitter.
What?
He got me like fully blocked, and then I was in my head. I was like finding ways to see how many followers he had through Social Blade. You know what Social Blade is, I would assume. It's like you could track everyone's follow growth.
Yeah.
And when I passed him on Twitter, I was just like spitefully happy. I was just like, yeah, screw that guy. Like, I'm number one now on both.
So he tweets once a month. Congrats.
Exactly. Yeah. But I'm just saying it was just from the start blocked on both. And I was just like, you know what? Screw you. I'm gonna do this better than you.
Yeah. I mean, it's just I don't have time.
Also,
I don't have time for the people on Twitter, for the trackers on Twitter. They're trying, like, dude, I'm open to helping anyone. Like, I know me and Jordan, that's how me and Jordan are. I know Jordan's better at Instagram than me. He tracks every single shot on his Twitter story. I mean, on his Instagram story, every round. He has like 75 Twitter stories for his round. I just post round update. Like, I know Jordan is better at that. So I'm happy to shout him out and give him those followers. And I know my Twitter is obviously a different story because he doesn't have Twitter. But so that's sort of how we've I mean, I feel like that road, not only is it better for us, it looks better. I mean, if you're having other Spieth accounts post other Spieth
the right word to use is compliment.
Exactly. Yeah. We'll compliment each other.
If I can't track, I'll say go look at Bob's Twitter, and then I mean it's vice versa. If he can't track, go look at my Instagram. I mean it's all a team thing. We're all rooting for Jordan to play as good as he can. I mean, it doesn't matter who you're following. If you have Twitter and Instagram, it doesn't matter because we both provide the same thing. He does it on Twitter, I do it on Instagram.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I'd say but yeah, I going back to the other point. I don't have time for the beef. I know Brooks, yeah, exactly. I know Brooks was talking about like the little scuffle you guys had, but like you guys made up right after that. Like, I mean, it's just like we're obviously gonna have disagreements on Twitter. Like, it's Twitter, like that's what it is. It's a bunch of people giving opinions essentially. But if you're not willing to put that aside, I mean, this is how it's life too. You can go. You're cutting out a bit.
I didn't get to listen to the podcast you did with Brooks Tracker. Sorry, my Wi-Fi is really bad.
No, yeah, you're fine now. Yep.
Did he mention the beef that we had? It's that for like that?
No, he was more talking about the Tiger Woods stuff. But then he mentioned, he was like, me and RM Tracker had one thing, and then after that we were fine, and we started and then we would retweet each other and stuff like that. And it's just exactly like.
It was during the Rory, like in 2019, end of 2019. I mean, Brooks beat Rory at the WGC at TPC Southwind, which is, again, as we spoke about an hour ago, what a beautiful track. What a great idea. Had to go from
yeah, exactly.
So Brooks beat him out there, and then Brooks was world number one, talking how no one's even close to him. And then Rory beats him in like back-to-back big tournaments. Like for $10 million on the line, he just completely whooped him at the FedEx Cup. I mean, not the FedEx Cup, at the Tour Championship 2019. He wins, and then he at the WGC in China wins, and that was cool. Is my Wi-Fi lagging right now?
No, you're fine now.
Oh, okay. So yeah, there was all that, and we had our beef, and then a couple months later, we were just like, what was the point of that? That was just stupid, and whatever. We followed each other back and spoke again, and we're all good. But yeah, there's obviously those little petty beefs that happen here and there, and obviously disagreements. I don't know how much I'm allowed to get into it, but
no, you can just spill it all out. Give us everything.
You were in NUCLR for a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
Are you still?
Yeah, I was going to ask you about it. I wanted to hear what your opinion was because you left out of nowhere. We were never given any information about that. So
yeah, I left pretty quick.
You're free to dive into that however you want.
Are you still in it?
No.
Okay.
Me, Phil, and JT all left at the same time.
Right. Okay. I was trying to remember who the third was. I knew Phil and JT did. I wasn't sure who the third was.
So that was me. Yeah.
Yeah. So, me and Tiger Woods spot. I don't. Again, most things should remain confidential, as you have to have a mutual respect for each other, right?
Right.
But me and Tiger Woods spot, or we became close through Instagram because we were both really big. We've worked together in the past. We've done giveaways together. We've done shout outs, all that stuff. He brought up the whole NUCLR idea to me. And at that point was when I was also starting my whole brand through my page, which I don't know if you guys have seen it at all, like my merchandise.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
the merch. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's when I was starting mine. And I was like, look, I was the next biggest tracker, you could say. I think at the time I probably had 160,000 followers. This is about a year ago. And he was at around, I think, 250, which is what he's at now. And basically, he approached me about it. I said, look, I'm interested. I want to help out, like this and that. We will discuss all the details about it as we go along, but I'm here to help you, whatever. He's really good about it. Obviously, he's great at what he does. He takes it very seriously. He's very formal. One big different thing between me and him is he's very formal and official.
Bingo. Yep.
Whereas and I can't be me. Whereas when I'm doing my own thing and posting my own stuff, like go look at my captions when Rory wins. It's not like this whole, it's not like the Washington Post is posting a headline. It's more just
100% agree with you there.
All capitals, emojis, when people are reading my caption, I want them to hear me yelling into their ears that what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You have to be, I guess, I'm not gonna say user friendly because some people like the whole formal thing. Do you guys hear me right now? It says
you're good.
Unstable.
You're fine.
Yeah, I figured this would happen. Jesus.
No,
okay.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Sorry about all this. It keeps happening.
All good. Yeah.
So I helped out. Okay. So I'll just keep going. And then I think, let me think for a sec. I officially joined NUCLR, and I remember he was doing the announcements. I'm trying to remember where I was. I was either late December, early January, and whatever. I embraced the fact that I was part of NUCLR. Like I thought it was, like I didn't want to miss out on it at the time in case it did go really big, and
that was my thought behind it.
So I was like, screw it, I'm gonna do it. I'll help him out. Good guy, great guy, whatever. And then I realized after like about 2 or 3 weeks of it, I was getting a lot of slack for missing shots, not doing things the way that necessarily their product has to be, and doing my way. And this whole thing, and the whole fact that one of Tiger Woods spots, or TW Legion, I think is his Twitter handles, very loyal followers. I'm not going to name his name, but we had some beef on Twitter, and he was just being a little bit whatever. We were both being childish, you could say. And I'm not going to say who's more right or more wrong, because I'm a 20-year-old and he was probably 40.
I think I remember that.
The person being more childish is usually the one who's older, right? If you're being older and equally childish, you're being more childish than the person who's way younger.
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
So that was a whole disaster. And then he told me I basically had to clean up my act, or I can't be part of NUCLR. I was like, okay, I'll try. And then the next day I just messaged him. I was like, I'm out. Like I was like, I can't do this. I'm not a filtered person. You guys are seeing the most filtered version of me ever. Oh yeah, in the chat. Hold on, I'm gonna write something. Sorry to all the people who are listening.
Yeah, but this is just like an ongoing conversation. So yeah, I'll talk while you're typing. So yeah, I've had my own encounters, but that's the thing. Oh God, hold on. I'll keep talking, but I have to run. I have to go run and grab my computer charger 1 second. But so actually, I don't want to lose this. So yeah, keep talking. I'll get when I get back.
We know exactly.
Yeah, I got
who,
it. So
you're
another
onto
thing
here.
for me. Yeah. We have it for the people who are listening to this. We have it written in our little chat here on our recording device of who we're talking about. Spieth Legion said it, and it's pretty hilarious. I mean, we all know who it is. It's just the same guy over and over again for everyone.
But it's whatever.
Another thing with me for nuclear. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, you can go.
Secrets are no fun. Another big thing for me was profile pictures are huge.
Yep, bang. That stopped my growth. So that is actually so crucial.
Bios are huge.
Yep.
Okay. And again, I have nothing bad to say about TW Spot, what he's trying to do, or what I don't really know much about what's gone on over the last year because we have kind of drifted over that stuff. But profile pictures are a big deal. And having to have this teal color with a black circle around it that said Rory Tracker in a weird font that you think would be used on a website in 2007, it didn't feel right to me that that's what people were looking at when I was tweeting. Like, it's just not. You go look now. You want to see a picture of Rory smiling or something like that, or with a trophy. You don't want to see, like writing. Who wants to see writing in a thing? So even now, if you guys, just to clarify for I know you guys know, but for anyone who's listening, my handle on Twitter is RM Tracker. On Instagram, it's Rory McIlroy Tracker. On Twitter, it's @RM Tracker. Once I got out of nuclear, I was the most excited I was. I was so excited when I texted that I'm out, was to change my profile picture. I was so excited. That was me too. And the next thing I did was I was excited to get rid of the cover that I had. Yeah, I was excited to get rid of the cover that I had, which was the same as the profile picture, just way wider. And if you guys go look at my cover now, again, @RM Tracker, it is. You guys go take a look for yourselves, just so you can describe it. It's a really well done, cool cover. Like, it's if any of you are going to look on Twitter.
Oh yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, it's great.
We kind of had this discussion with Brooks Tracker about like the responsibility to deliver like the best product. And I was never with nuclear, but like, our followers, they don't care if they don't want to see us having an allegiance to someone that's above us. We have an allegiance to track, like our golfer, if you get what I'm saying.
And another thing is, like it or not. So first off, let me just say this, because I want to make it very clear. I have absolutely nothing against Tiger Woods Legion, Tiger Woods Spot. Tiger Woods Spot, he is the most accomplished person in this Twitter, Instagram verse as of now, besides Golf Channel Tiger Tracker. He is what he tried to do. It's not. I'm not blaming him, because he is not the problem. It's just all I want to say is I have a lot of respect for him, so don't take this as like against him. A big thing is that some people just don't want to see the external stuff. Some people don't want to see the retweets of nuclear golf. Like, that's plain and simple a fact. Some people don't want to see nuclear golf giveaways, so to say. And some people just don't.
Also, go ahead. No, you go ahead.
And some people just aren't into it, which is fine. I just think, I don't know. I think it's tough because, if you get the wrong people in your corner, and as we talked about, there are obviously some people in that are not helping by any means. But that's not Spot's fault by any means at all. Which in that sense, I kind of feel bad for him because, but it's just sometimes in the end, we are our own brand. Like we made our accounts based on our brand that we've made. We made our following based on the way we word tweets and the way we post pictures on Instagram. Like, that's why people are following. So if people are getting
You're
a filtered
absolutely
version,
right.
then what's the point?
Takes away from the authenticity.
Yeah, look. Also, again, people followed us. Sorry,
Yeah, you're good.
what was that? I think I missed.
You're
that.
good. You can talk.
Regardless, what I meant to say was like, yeah, I'm good. It's just, yeah. You guys hear me?
Yeah.
Good.
Oh God, my Wi-Fi.
Are you on a delay? I feel like you're
Okay.
delayed.
No, my Wi-Fi is so bad. You would think
It's
I'm
alright.
like, it's like I'm connected to a system that's in Africa right now. It makes no sense. Whatever, not the point. I'm just a big thing for me. NUCLR. You have to believe in a product if you're going to be a part of it. Okay. If the PGA Tour approached the biggest trackers for each player and said, "We're going to hire you to do this, and we're going to make a tracking family," you could say, whatever, that would work. That would work.
Yep.
As long as they didn't say change everything about you. But I just feel like everyone's different. Everyone's grown differently. Everyone has different ways of how they became what they are now in the tracker world. For me, it was Instagram. I'm a very fortunate person on that sense because I got really huge on Instagram. It's just there's like, I don't mean to sound cocky, but I got really, really big on Instagram. I mean, I have 200,000
Yeah.
followers.
That's
Huge.
not, yeah.
It's tough to comprehend. And like, why would I change something that I do so well just to be part of like someone else's big grand idea and be under someone else? Like my whole vision this entire time, as much as I do it because I'm the biggest Rory fan in the world and all of that, I also do it with a slight competitive edge. I want to be the most followed person. I want to be the most engaged with person. I want to have all that stuff. I love seeing the likes. I love seeing the follows. I love all the, you love that stuff. It's fun to look. Like when your account's doing well versus when it's not doing so well, it's so much more fun when it's doing well. That's like, there's a fun to it. That's why I still do this, right?
Mhm.
So when I had to change the way I do things, again, I didn't change Instagram at all. So you could forget any of that. That's just another point. When I had to change the way I did things, it felt like it wasn't me doing what I enjoy doing. It felt like I might as well have just given him my account and let him tweet from it because it just wasn't me. It was more that product that I'm not going to say I didn't believe in it, but I'm going to say that I had my own product and my own product was doing really damn well. And why would I change what I was doing? So it was just, I'm not saying it's a bad product, but for me personally, just because of what I had going on Instagram, it was probably a bad idea for me to ever join in the first place because I didn't really need it,
Well, it works for some people. Like, I mean, for people like
capital gain for me there, and I guess
I'd say,
yeah.
like, let's say DJ Tracker, for example, like that works for him. He's done great. He's grown off it really well. Like that works for him. Whereas, I don't know. I just feel like for people like me and you who had already built a brand before that, it's just tough to. It's tough to get us to change because in the end, you have to know what's best for us and we have to do what's best for us. We can't be playing. In the end, we have to do what's best for our accounts and what we have most enjoyment doing. Because if you're not, what's the point of spending the amount of time that you are spending and putting into the account? So that's really my take on it. It's nothing against them. It's just some things work for some people and some things don't.
It's a good offer for some, not a good offer for others.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
exactly. And again, I have nothing against what he's done. To be honest with you, I have no idea how it's gone for him, whether it's gone well or poorly. I don't know. Couldn't tell you. I wish nothing but the best for him because he over the last couple of years, he is the biggest guy on Instagram. For me, again, I aspire to be big on Instagram more than Twitter, but he is that big dog on Instagram. And again, it's not necessarily about followers all the time, but it would be nice to have the most followers out of any tracking account on Instagram, which I again don't mean to sound cocky, but it's going to happen pretty soon.
Yeah,
which is nuts, just because again, it's Rory versus Tiger, So yeah, I mean, again, wishing him nothing but the best. I have no idea how it's gone. I left pretty early, and we haven't really spoken since. But yeah, it's not for everyone. Clearly, it wasn't for you, JT, or Phil either. But it's just I don't know. It was a really weird time in my little Twitter tracking life there. It's almost like
that. It was weird. It's a good
yeah.
word to say it.
I don't know. It doesn't feel even right. It feels like I was never even a part of it.
Almost. Yeah, I agree with that. All right, so quick, fast fire questions, I guess you could say, before we end it for the night. We're definitely gonna have to have you back on, maybe when Rory wins or something, because this has been a blast.
Next week.
What would you say? Yeah, hopefully next week. What would you say is your favorite Rory win that you've tracked?
That I've tracked. That's a key word. Okay. That I've tracked.
Yeah.
Do I have like 15 seconds to think about this?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. It's be the perfect time for, an ad that just like starts spitting.
Okay, here. The quick fire. I'm not great at that. Okay, I'll be quick. The 2019 was an awesome year of tracking. That's my favorite year I've had with the account. Players was awesome because that was like his first real gigantic win in 5 years. Like that was a huge one. That was huge when he won the Players. Love that and love the Canadian Open because I'm Canadian. The Canadian Open was awesome. Honestly, they were all awesome. FedEx Cup tracking. It was just all so fun that year, I found. It was awesome. That was a great year. So I would say if I had to pick one, probably the Players. Probably the Players. That was so cool.
Yep. That's what I would have guessed as well. And let's see, one more. You guys have any? Let's see.
Yeah, I got one.
Yeah.
What will Rory's first win of the 2022 calendar year be?
Well, I mean, technically and legally, I don't know his schedule yet. But his first win is going to be before the Masters. Where's it going to be? It's going to be probably Bay Hill. He's just so good there. He had no business not winning there last year or the year before, for that matter. But yeah, he'll win at Bay Hill, I think, and then he's going to go out and we'll go win the Masters.
We'll see about that, but I like your mind.
Yeah, I know. I have Jordan winning the Masters. I think this is his year. I also like Jordan. If Jordan does not win the Charles Schwab this year, I'm going to be very upset. No one has any business winning there besides Jordan. The fact that he lost to Kokrak there still.
Yeah, Rory's never lost to Kokrak, so I mean that's a bonus.
Wait, has Rory? I think. Hold on. No, I don't think Rory's lost to Kokrak. I don't.
No, you lose to Kokrak. I mean,
that's game. It's worse than Willett.
No, hey, it's crazy because Jason Kokrak, as like low key as he is, he's really good at golf. When he's playing well, he's really damn good.
He's good.
Yeah. That's yeah. No,
I just bland.
Kokrak.
Bland, exactly. Dan, what do you got?
Well, I was gonna ask about his predictions on Rory next season, but
you see the ones.
Well, yeah. Let's see season total. How many wins? FedEx Cup, all that stuff.
I was on another podcast. I think it was 3 weeks ago. I don't remember everything I said. I bet you that my predictions will remain pretty consistent. I'm not going to say they're going to be the same, but this is in my current mindset, current train of thought. Bay Hill, the major that he's going to win, get ready, is going to be the Open. He's going to win at St. Andrews. He should have played in 2015. That tournament was made for him. The Open at St. Andrews is made for him. He's going to go and he's going to win. That'll be his first major. The 150th Open. That'll be his first major.
I honestly think St. Andrews is going to be so good because I genuinely think anybody can win there.
Yeah, for sure.
Like bombers like Bryson can win there. People who play golf Spieth can win there.
I'm just saying that.
I mean, that's gonna be a sick tournament. Anyone could win that tournament. I wouldn't be surprised if someone wins there that's just like so low key. Like I wouldn't be surprised if like a Jason Kokrak wins.
And Zach
Streb.
Yeah.
Robert Streb
number 2 there.
Robert Streb road to St. Andrews.
Robert Streb might win the Open. Dark horse pick probably at 300 times odds.
Do you know the story behind us and Robert Streb?
No.
So Robert Streb, first ever episode that we did on a tournament besides the Ryder Cup was the CJ Cup because Spieth played there.
Okay.
We were absolutely hammering. We were going off on Streb. We were saying how he we didn't even remember that he played golf anymore. Like we were basically calling him a no name, and then he shot 11 under in the first round, and everyone was going crazy. So now us three are all lifelong Robert Streb fans.
Because of that.
Because of that, and yeah, so our goal is to get him on the pod soon. Hopefully, we're working on it. Like
the real Robert Streb, you mean?
The real Robert
real
Streb.
Robert
Yeah,
Streb.
we have a few connections. We think it might be possible. I wouldn't say it's out of the picture.
Look, make it happen. That'd be pretty
Absolutely. No, yeah, we have a few good ones that we could get, but these tracker interviews are always really great because again, the opinions are credible. And it's always it's great to hear perspective from other golf fans because I know as much as we're very knowledgeable golf fans, us three, me, Jordan, Dan, there is bias in what we say. We are Jordan fans, but it's always great to hear the other perspective. So
yeah, of course. And
it was
come
awesome.
back on. It was a lot of fun. I'm sorry that my Wi-Fi was absolutely garbage, but
no, it's all right. That happens.
Sure I improve it a little bit for next time. All
it
you
happens.
You want, so you just gotta let me know.
But yeah, if Rory wins, we're gonna have to have you back on. No, we were trying to get the other Rory tracker on the night he won. He couldn't. We'll have to get him on too. I know. I've never had a preference. I think you guys are both great. So
we're different.
Yeah,
He's
very
real.
Again, it's like me and Jordan. He's definitely more Twitter focused, and you're definitely more Instagram focused. So.
Exactly. And even though I have more, I'll concede it to him. Even though I have, I think like 3,000 or 4,000 more followers on Twitter, he's just way better at Twitter than me. Like straight up.
Yeah. Well, I have more followers than Jordan on Instagram, but he's miles ahead of me in terms of like mid-round content.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's I appreciate you guys having me on. I really do.
Absolutely. It has
Thanks
been
for coming
a
on.
blast. Yeah, we'll have you on again for sure.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you guys.
Yeah, good luck to
Absolutely.
Rory as well.
Take care.
Absolutely. All right.